Is it true that the original title for this was an even simpler plan?
It was an untitled teenage sex comedy.
Okay. I got it confused. I'm sorry.
Good one, Hank.
Hey.
Yay.
You are at the ready with that.
Enough for that.
So when you guys are filming, how in tune are you to the sort of interactive elements that are going on? Are you aware of all the pop-ups and phone calls and stuff ahead of time? Or is that sort of stuff figured out more after the fact?
We do have a guy off stage reading the fun facts. Usually at the sort of 7th grade reading level that they assume a viewer would be able to read it at. So there are pauses sort of interjected throughout. Sometimes when you do the scenes where you've got an inner monologue coming out through the phone, then it becomes much trickier because you're having to pause, wait, try and act the thinking on your face while somebody is reading it off stage, and then go in for your lines.
That's what I was going to ask you. Was that, did we play around with that? Like, did you try it without somebody reading and then with somebody reading?
Yeah, because we did my stuff first that way, and so I wasn't getting picked.
And then we would get whisked away to like green screen and like, okay, what are we doing? And be like, just start talking about this and pose for that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like
this is going to be for a card, and this is going to be for a side thing.
Right. I always had a green screen set up somewhere on set, no matter what location we were at, and they would just take characters away. You're not doing anything right now? Come, like stand here now.
Yeah. It was all in the script, but I know for me, like I had sometimes reading the script with all that extra stuff, I was like, I have no idea what this means. But it's in the script, and then we would just be whisked away, and they're like, do this, and I'm like, what is that? And then I watched it and was like, that's what that was.
Yeah, getting the script was very memorable for me because I don't remember when I read a lot of scripts, but this one I was like, I can't follow what's going on. I was immediately attached to the characters, which is, of course, I think what we were all drawn to about the technology. But then I was like, there's something really cool about this that's either going to be really cool or really not work, because it was so hard to follow and felt like it jumped around so much. And I think we were all kind of blown away with how seamless it was and how sort of organic to what the whole show it ended up being.
Yeah. And luckily,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, luckily on set, they were very good about, you guys just focus on your performance and just trust us that you need to do this next.
No matter how confusing it got.
Yeah.
To me, like being on the production, besides being like whisked away to a green screen and that stuff, it felt very much like an independent film,
Yeah.
In terms of the scale and like the closeness of everybody.
Well, that was the thing,
I'll see you guys later.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye. Nice meeting you.
They just referred to it as transmedia, which just became the catch-all for anything. So they were like, and transmedia element here, and the director was aware of that, and the producers were aware of that. But for the most part, that was transmedia guys were like amped and saying, like, here's what we need to get still to complete the whole scene.
So, given the highly structured nature of this, was there any opportunity to experiment, to improvise? Did you get to do that at all?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There were some times. Well, I mean...
Is it the dance sequence?
No, that was fully choreographed. Oh yeah, that was one of the most difficult things I've ever done.
No, he did not. No, they brought in a choreographer.
No, they brought in a choreographer for us.
Why?
Yeah.
He can do it.
Yeah, no,
well,
I mean, of course, yeah.
The choreographer, whose name escapes me now, and I feel terrible, but she watched, the Coconuts do have this very specific dance that they do, and it's like, and she watched.
I love that you're on the coconut tip. You're like, coconuts, man. It's etched in my memory. Follow what they do.
Fake in there. You wanted to have something that was a little real.
Well, we had limitations. There were, high heel shoes and me. In the middle, which was, and I'm
the best one. Oh God, he's just setting us up for that. Because I'm selling a different thing than you guys. Oh, I see.
Was your character what your character was, or did they change it because? Because I've been looking at you lately, and before they reminded me, I actually had forgotten about Han.
Oh, thank you.
Who you were. You look amazing these
Thank
days.
you.
Really
no, they wrote Michelle and
as that.
They wrote Michelle. Yeah, I mean Zach came up with the character. He's one of the creators, Zach Schiff Abrams. And when they were writing the series, it was Zach's intention to have a transgender character in this show, which I thought was amazing. And then when the casting process came about,
slightly rewritten in terms of because of that last episode of of being less obvious, of that fight of
I'm
not like other
Yeah, I don't know if that was because of me, but I know when I read the pilot, nothing really changed when I read the pilot from when I auditioned. I think they had an idea in their mind of who Michelle was, and then after the audition process, it sort of expanded on that idea of who she was, and I'm just really happy that I was able to audition and that they saw me and they liked me, and then possibly maybe they molded Michelle around who I was, and as our characters got to know each other, and all of that. But I just think it's so amazing that they.
That's what I wanted to ask though.
Yeah.
Choosing, I would think because you've really branched out and looked so great that you wouldn't necessarily even audition for a role.
Well,
that's why I was wondering.
Yeah,
So
there are a lot of transgender roles that I don't audition for because
Okay.
they are looking for something specific. Maybe someone who is a little more obvious, or earlier on in their transition.
But there's something that just.
It clicked with Michelle. She's young. She's just a girl with a crazy job. With these friends, and at the end of the day, we all have things.
They read a spectrum.
Yeah, there were
men and women audition for the role.
I know the day that I was there for the mix and match, which is sort of like a chemistry test. I was up against a couple of other really great girls for the part. And we all went in. And there were different Petes and different Michelles, and Mary Lynn was cast right off the bat because she's amazing. And we all had to go in and do it with different people. So it was like me with Hank, and then me with someone else, and then Hank with someone else, and the whole thing. And then, but this dynamic, I just clicked from the beginning.
So tell me about being able to go off the script. Where were the places that you could do? Were there like specific places where they say, okay, you can?
Well, it was while we were on set. Sometimes as we were working, we would just say, okay, this line doesn't work, or whatever. And so it wasn't so much that we were going to just keep rolling, guys, because we're going to get crazy up in here. It was like we talked it over with John Newman, the writer, and the director, and sometimes we came up when Aaron Schur, and we came up with lines that alternates essentially, and we do it like 4 or 5 different ways. Then we didn't know which one they were going to use until after the fact, which I guess is how they do The Office a lot of times too, in that they...
what scene sort of felt the most improv because it was at the end of our shoot and we knew each other the best when we were in the car.
Yeah.
Remember? Because we were just sitting there all day and it was one of our last scenes, and it also had the fart scene, which was so ridiculous.
Oh, and then the hamburger.
And we were all just really... We were all just really giggling and kind of sitting in there together, and we were really comfortable with each other by that point. So that was one where there was a lot of extra. Maybe that was just by me. I couldn't
No, it's true.
And there's also
and fighting with the CD and stuff like that.
Yeah. And there's some bonus scenes at the end, as the credits roll. There's some really funny stuff in there that was a little improv-y, the sort of outtakes that are little jewels that they threw in at the end, which I think are hilarious.
Yeah. I was a little jealous because Matt Jones, who plays my roommate Hummy, he got to do more improv, I think, than anybody else, because they could just literally set up the camera and just be just be awkward and hilarious, and you'd be like, I got it, and just
all that stuff in your room.
That seems completely improv. It's okay, just go in there and do stuff.
Just do it.
Although the pillow thing seems like it was a little orchestrated.
No, that
was out of his mind.
Yeah, we've seen the video that he's referencing, right? It's like an internet video of a bunch of kids. They set up a slow jam, and they're all just dancing, being this is gonna be awesome, and everybody at school sees this, and they all start pumping the ottomans.
Are you
oh my god!
Yeah.
Wow, I had no idea.
That's scary.
Very scary. So when he first brought up improving, you got this look on your face for a split second that you have a good story.
Oh, that's what we call improv.
I know that.
Beautiful.
I'm just saying.
Thank you.
You look like you might have had a good tale.
Well, no, I don't.
Some saucy bit behind the scenes.
Sorry, I don't have a specific bit about improving in as much as the whole thing was just sort of, kept fairly loose, and that we just sort of did whatever.
There was a day that our production almost got busted by the union.
That was.
Oh yeah, that was the first
stood
episode.
around the piano.
Yes.
For 3 hours.
Because John Newman wrote the theme song to Dirty Work.
And he is an incredible musician,
piano player, the whole bit, and we sat for hours and sang songs. The Dirty Work theme, Pointer Sisters.
And so there is some hidden outtake somewhere in there where it's just it's like a piano bar, and he's playing Dirty Work, and we are all
they lit
singing
candles.
along.
It was a real moment because I
Yeah.
was like, I don't care how long this takes. Like normally on a set, you're like, really more waiting, other than because they were like, you can't keep filming until.
yeah.
Did anybody do the Michelle Pfeiffer laying across the top of the piano?
There might have been a moment.
How did you know? You can guess who may have
I've
done
been on
that.
enough sets, you know. It happens.
I don't know. Jamie's pretty shy though. She likes to.
I mean, you know.
How long was the shoot for this?
2 months.
Well, we started table reads in December, and then we took a break for Christmas and New Year's, and then we started filming January 3rd, I believe.
Good memory.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite memories. And I think it took 4 weeks because then we filmed like a bunch of bonus material
Okay.
that they slowly released as promo stuff and then put in with the other episodes, like the bit with Meta World Peace we did, and then a bunch of the van pickups. So I think it was like 4 weeks. But then if you include the table reads, like 6.
Strikes me as a pretty relaxed shoot schedule for this particular thing. Was it an easygoing set?
I'd say so.
Well, yeah, I mean, as far as being on set, I think it was an amazing experience. We did have some long days, but, you know, it's like I'm always ready for that. And I mean, we're all used to working like and especially when you're working with people that are so amazing and so talented and so nice. You know, it's like no one threw a fit, no one was being like a diva. So it just was
Except
easy.
Meta World Peace.
Yeah.
In my
Except
mind.
that one.
You mentioned that.
Yeah, that's true.
Speaking on the music, if the show continues, you didn't actually sing, which I was like, oh man, it was the actual writer who did the singing. In your mind, how would they tackle that? Would you have to just lip sync, or would you have to learn how to sound like him? Maybe.
Many times said, whenever you want me to come in and lay down some tracks, we would do it, And we did actually sing on For the Coconuts.
Yeah.
The backup singing, we did
But I mean, I actually liked his demo tape.
It was good, right? No, he's a
multi-millionaire
songwriter, and I think
I actually like. I'm not sure which one I like more, the one that pops up or the one that plays during the credits, because there were 2 songs, and I assume they were both supposed to be from
the demo.
Pete's demo.
Yeah. And the demo had 2 covers, which kind of really confused me.
How do you mean?
You guys wait 2 minutes, sorry.
On the pop-up, there's an actual cover, and the demo has a different title than the demo that you're
Fighting over sex
trying to give out. Yeah, it's like a totally different album. It's a completely it's a title and everything. Like it's an
They were having just fun with that.
Like you went and remixed it and got a real album done or something. It was kind of.
So is this it for Dirty Work? Is there a Dirty Work 2?
Have you heard anything?
No, not.
Yeah, what do you know? What do you know?
You might find out.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I'm available. We're all available.
Yeah.
I would love to do more.
Do you guys think that this sort of interactive storytelling is the future?
What's that?
They're not pulling you to be David's new girlfriend over on the set of Arrested Development.
I actually did a part in Arrested Development.
Yeah, I'm saying, so I'm surprised that they're not pulling you onto the film in some way.
What film?
The Arrested Development film?
The Netflix show? Television show?
The one that they're filming right now.
I did a bit part.
Oh, you did on the new one?
But I wasn't playing David's girlfriend.
Well,
I was playing a sidekick to Jeffrey Tambor.
Okay.
A woman named Heartfire who only emotes. She does not speak. She just emotes.